Good morning, everybody. My name's Denise House. Do we have anybody new here from prior years? Everybody looks familiar behind the mask. I know this is kind of a new norm, but hopefully, if you have questions, we're always here to help you. And it should be relatively straightforward this year. Not a lot of changes, not any changes that I know of. So anyway, with that, we'll get going. So we're going to go through your plan benefits. Um, so as you know, this is your annual open enrollment, gives you the opportunity to look at your plan benefits and make election changes. It started on November 4th, and we're going to go until the 20th. Your benefit elections go into play or into place effective January 1st. If you want to make a change, those forms will be available to you with HR, so make sure you are aware of that and you do so by November 20th if you want to make any changes. That's making changes as far as who you have on the plan, taking somebody off, putting somebody on, so make sure you're aware of that. Oftentimes you may have a change that happens that is what we call a qualified life event during the year. That gives you an opportunity to make changes. So if you have one of the situations outlined here, such as a marriage, a divorce, birth of a baby, you lose other coverage, meaning your spouse has you on coverage, they choose to take you off, or vice versa, for whatever reason, you no longer have access to coverage, that's an opportunity to make a change. So like I said, no carrier changes. The same plans are being offered. We've had a really good year, and so that's awesome. We do have payroll deductions that will be disclosed in the benefit guide that will be available to you online, or you can talk to HR. And we also have this year an HSA calculator that's been put together by Health Equity. So oftentimes folks will say, is the Health Equity plan better, or the high deductible, or the traditional, or which one is better financially? And so we're hoping that that calculator that we've put together or had put together for you is something that will benefit to kind of help you make that determination. So Scott's here from GBS. I haven't introduced him, so thanks for being here this morning, Scott. So during the presentation, we'll show you how that calculator works. And then when you're home with your spouse and you're saying, what is the plan that we want to go on, you can look at that and make that determination. So becoming a well-informed consumer, of course, and I think, you've been at my meetings before, and I tout this all the time, with costs continuing to rise, we always recommend that you take responsibility, ask questions of your doctor, figure out if there's an alternative option as far as care. PHP has a lot of good options. One is like a cash back reward. So if you go out and you are shopping and recognize that there's maybe a cheaper option, that cash reward goes back to you. And so Gabby will talk to that. And so we want to make sure that you're aware of that and take advantage of using that. And ultimately, you'll save money, okay? The plan will save money, and so will you. So again, ask your doctor, get involved, be a consumer. A lot of times you have, questions that you can ask, like, how much is this treatment going to cost? Okay, that's again an opportunity for you to get involved, be responsible, be that consumer. Can I get treated another way? Okay, you're scheduled maybe for an MRI. Perhaps you can put that off. Perhaps you can get a MRI maybe in a month and see how things turn out, or have a CAT scan. Those are alternative procedures or services that ultimately can maybe help shift the cost and what you're looking at as far as risk and side effects. So ask your doctor, get involved in your health care, okay? Don't be afraid to ask those questions. Prescription drugs we talked about, and we have talked about. This is an area where we constantly see increase as far as cost. So know that and recognize that there's always an opportunity for you to price compare medication costs. So with that, you can use the GoodRx tool, and if you haven't been using it, make sure you do so, especially if you and your family are on the qualified high deductible health plan. make sure you're pricing medications. PHP does a great job as far as getting the best price, but ultimately, GoodRx may be an alternative that will offer you even a better price. And if that's the case, you can choose to use the GoodRx price at the pharmacy, get the better price, and then file that claim into PHP. So recognize that that is an option, okay? So we have PHP. Gabby is here today. We're going to still offer the traditional plan and the STAR plan, okay? I'll go ahead and talk through the plan benefits really quick. The traditional plan is being provided through the Summit Exclusive Network, okay? Your deductible is applied if you have services where your deductible is assessed. So if you go into the hospital for inpatient care, outpatient hospitalization, those services, you will have a deductible assessed. On a single basis, you have a $1,000 deductible. For family, it's $2,000. One person, as you can see, cannot exceed more than that $1,000 deductible. So if I go in and I have surgery, the $1,000 is satisfied, then the plan will start paying 80/20, okay, until you reach your out-of-pocket maximum, which you can see on a single basis is that $4,500, okay? If I'm going in for preventative services, my services such as my annual exam for me, myself, my children, immunizations, all covered at 100%, assuming you're using a participating provider, okay? Your doctor visits, your primary care are subject to a copay of $10. Specialty care is $35. And if I need to go in for urgent care, it's a $45 copay, okay? Pretty straightforward, no changes as far as the benefits. Again, your hospital services are covered in 80%. You're going to be responsible for 20, again, assuming you're using hospitals that are within the system. And then up to that maximum out of pocket. So that is your protection, okay? And then your prescriptions, as you can see, you're subject to the copays, which is $15, $30, and $65, okay? If you choose to go out of network, you have a significantly more cost out of pocket. You're not protected financially because PHP will reimburse based on their allowed amount, their contracted amount. So keep that in mind. You do have a maximum out of pocket, but that is up to the amount that PHP has allowed. So keep that in mind. If there's amounts up over and above that, that's where that becomes financially an unknown, and so we highly suggest you stay within network. Any questions on that, on the traditional plan? Okay. Your STAR high deductible health plan. This is your HSA, if you will. We oftentimes hear that in the market as far as high deductible health plan or health savings account. This plan allows you to set money aside on a pre-tax basis, and then it will complement what you have out of pocket on the high deductible. So the plan is pretty straightforward. It's a $1,500 deductible if you enroll as one individual, single. Or for family plan, it's a $3,000 deductible, okay? You can see the one person cannot exceed more than that $3,000 deductible. Once the family deductible is satisfied, then the plan pays 80/20. Pretty straightforward. 80/20 until the maximum benefit is satisfied, which is on a, again, single, 3,000, family, 6,000, okay? Preventative is covered at 100%. Gabby, you can come in. I was just going through the benefits really briefly. Your prescriptions, you can see, are subject to the deductible as well. So all of that will accumulate. You will pay the retail cost of those prescriptions. So this is where I say be a consumer, price those prescriptions. Make sure you're getting the best price. That will go towards your deductible. And then once your deductible is satisfied based on how you're enrolled, then your plan starts paying according 80/20, or so that's where you're going to really want to make sure you're a consumer. Any questions on that? Okay. I'm going to turn the time over to Gabby, and she's going to go through what PHP offers as far as services and how that is changed from last year, including COVID services.
Hey, I live on a farm. Can you guys hear me? I'll shout.
He's recording.
Okay, now you can hear me. All right. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about COVID. Obviously, we've received alerts. Everybody's a little bit nervous, right? Okay, so not just PHP, but all the carriers have specific guidelines that we have to follow. Okay, so everyone is taking care of you. So obviously, we have to cover testing if you're having symptoms or if you've been exposed to someone. Okay, you can go to Testing Utah if you're going to be traveling. Like, I don't know of anybody that's going to the Bahamas right now, but if you do decide you're going to travel and you need a test to travel, then you'd have to go to the Test Utah site and have it covered through that. Okay. One other thing I was made aware of this week. Okay, IC units are having an overflow of COVID patients. I'm not saying that to scare you, but I want to bring up a very good point. If you are inpatient for COVID, right? Inpatient COVID, any hospital, they cannot bill you. So it doesn't matter what network you guys are on. So you guys up here on the Summit Network, let's say there's no room at the inn up here, right? And you end at a non-contracted facility for inpatient COVID treatment, they cannot bounce bill you. They have to accept PHP's fees as payment in full, okay? The next thing I wanted to just remind you of is that we follow all of the guidelines with COVID. If we have to waive the deductible, we're doing that. So I just want to make sure that we're on that. You're aware of that. Where'd the clicker go? Oh, okay. All right, so other thing, healthcare reform. So as long as you are using in-network providers and facilities, then the deductible does not apply, and there will be no cost for these preventive services, okay? Now, a lot of people, when they're younger, their doctor may say, hey, you have to go in for a colonoscopy. Trust me, my husband and I went in for colonoscopies. It's not a great double date because you have to have somebody drive you home. We didn't think about that. We just both had the day off. Just trying to lighten the mood a little bit. Okay, so some preventive services are based on age, right? So if you're not that specific age, right, it may not be covered at the 100% benefit. Does that make sense to everybody? But is it still covered? Yes, at your regular plan benefits. So if you've met your deductible or the deductible does not apply, that's where it will pay. The other thing is for these preventive services to be a benefit, they have to be billed with a routine diagnosis code and a routine procedure code. So one of the main questions I get, and I know Denise gets this too, is let's say you go in for a mammogram. If the mammogram, and you're in that age group, comes back and it was billed as a routine diagnosis code with a procedure code, in-network facility, great and groovy, it's covered at 100%, right? What if that same mammogram was billed with a diagnosis code because they found something? Pop quiz, would that be covered as preventive? No, right? But would it be paid for under your health insurance? Yes. And I just want you all to know that's how all carriers work with the ACA Affordable Care Act. Okay, let's talk about those dependents. Okay, so dependents that are covered on your plan can remain on the plan until age 26. We don't look at if they're living with you, not living with you, married, not married. And they will come off at the last day at the end of the month of their birthday month, okay? All right, this is our new website. Look, it's mountains. I hope you like them because they're local. And I just wanted you guys to kind of see, hey, this is where you get to your benefits if you're looking things up online. Also, we have provider cost tools as well. And then this is how you look at your contracted providers. So when you're going in to look at a provider, this is really cool. It will remind you, hey, you, guess what? You're on the Summit Network, right? So you want to click on Summit Network providers and facilities. There is also a tab for out-of-state providers and facilities. And you're going to use that if you are traveling outside of Utah or if you have dependents living outside of Utah. So let's look at providers and facilities costs. Now in this one, the one I brought that I wanted to actually show you is our prescription drug tool. It compares the costs on our plans, okay? So it'll give you the cost differential between brand name and generics. We also have links to our preferred drug list on our website. So I just wanted to show you guys what this looks like. Now, Denise mentioned an awesome tool earlier today, the pharmacy tool. Okay, so if you do not use the benefit through the pharmacy benefit through PHP, I'm not going to know that you paid for something directly. Does that make sense? And so I'm going to have the HR team, I will email them the form that you need to submit a claim to so that I can ensure that you're going to have those pharmacy claims applied to what? Your deductible on the STAR plan and your out-of-pocket maximum on both plans, okay? So as we go forward out of state, remember, traveling outside of Utah, you need to use these providers. It's really unique. Most of you won't believe this, but in the large scheme of things, Utah is on the lower end of costs for healthcare. I know that probably surprises you. Even Ohio is higher in medical costs than we are. Don't ask me why, okay? So it's imperative that you go online and use these providers because they will accept PHP's contracted fees as payment in full, which means they can't charge you the difference between what they're billing you, right, and our contracted fee. They can't charge you that difference. So make sure you guys are taking advantage of that. We do have e-visits available, and this is awesome sauce. These guys are available on both plans, all our networks. It's Intermountain Connect Care. So if it's late at night and you don't want to go anywhere, these guys are there for you. And I love them because they're right there and they'll get back to you in a hurry. So, and they can prescribe. The coolest thing is that if they feel like, you know what, we feel like we cannot treat you, we really want you to go into either urgent care or maybe ER, okay, they won't bill you for the visit. That's pretty cool, right? So they can even they'll look at you and diagnose you. If you've cut your finger, they can look at that and kind of say, hey, it needs stitches or you're good to go to super glue it. I didn't say that, but we'll go forward. Okay, we also have the Summit Network available for you virtual visits as well. So you guys have a choice here. And these guys do a great job too. It's just another choice for you. All right, this is one slide I always put up with all of my groups, and this is how PHP works. If you are taking a brand name drug, it's not based on the classification of drug, it's just that brand name drug. And there is a generic equivalent for it, then you may be having to pay the difference between the generic and the brand name drug and the copayment there. So a lot of people maybe can't take a generic medication and they have to take the name brand. If that's you, just give our pharmacy team, option 3 on our 1-800 number, a shout out, and they will work with your physician and try to work that through for you, okay? All right, on the STAR plan, this is awesome sauce. We have what we call the expanded preventive drug list. So all of these types, these medications, if you're enrolled on the STAR plan, are available to you without having to meet that deductible first. So this is fabulous. So this is for the STAR plan, okay? Qualified high deductible health plan. Okay. All right? And then we also have our diabetes savings program, and this is available on the traditional plan as well as the qualified high deductible health plan. On the qualified high deductible health plan, this benefit will be available after you've met your deductible. There's a savings between $1,000 and $2,000. So if you have someone that's a diabetic in your family and is having to test often, this can really save you guys some money. So this is kind of what our preferred drug list looks like. Again, it's available on our website. It is modified periodically. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to our pharmacy team. And then I want to talk to you guys about our cashback opportunities, okay? And I'm not just talking $25, $50, and I'm talking $500 or $1,000 and maybe more. Let's talk this through. So, oh, we don't have the other side. Okay, so on the website, when you go in and look at providers, you'll see a little green telephone and a dollar sign, right? That means that there could be cashback opportunities for you. Now, how does this work? If you're going to have, let's say, a colonoscopy, and the closest one I have for you guys here that is giving cashback is in Ogden. Would you drive to Ogden for $1,000? Sign me up. Sign me up. Okay, let me tell you how it works though. You have to call PEHP first. You got to call us first. You can't call us on the back end. It doesn't work that way. You call us first, they're going to give you a code, a number, right? When you make your appointment with that provider, you share that number with them. That number is good for 90 days. If you can't get in within 90 days, that's fine. No worries. Just call our team. They'll either lengthen the time on that code or they'll give you a new code. Now, you're probably going, Gabby, how can you give us cash back, right? PHP is a nonprofit self-funded trust. So guess what? When we save money, who does it go to? You. So that's why we can do that. We do have some other services available, but the big ticket item like colonoscopies, that's the one where you're going to see the big bucks. And remember, age specific for preventive, but if not, there's MRIs and other places available. Okay, we have several clinics, value clinics along the Wasatch Front as well, and labs that are available to you where you can save additional monies. And this is our PEHP Plus program. We're constantly adding to this list with different vendors. In fact, we just added 3 different vendors that will give you discounts on hearing aids. And so it is a discount plan, but you would pay that lower cost. So it's worth it to go up there and check those out. We also have discounts on gyms and spas and things like that. My favorite thing was the hot rock massage. And so this happened a couple of years ago. My granddaughter knows I absolutely love those. And I didn't hear her, so I'm like, what is she doing? And I happened to go around in the kitchen, and she was just ready to push the button on the microwave to heat up rocks in the microwave for Grammy to have a hot rock massage. So that was like, stop, hold the phone, don't do that. But these are things that are available to you guys that can just make your monies go a little bit further. Okay, we have the cost calculator. Love the cost calculator, right? We are the first group out in the state of Utah with the transparency tool. So what you see is what you get. When you go in here, you can compare costs by looking at having the procedure done inpatient, outpatient. You can compare costs of having a procedure at different facilities, right? It's pretty cool. What I love about this, real time. So it's based on where you are at that moment in time in your benefits, right? So it'll say, you need to pay this towards your deductible. Here's the other coinsurance amount. Now, I've had people come up to me and they've said, oh my gosh, Gabs, this amount changed. I went back home to talk about it with my spouse. Why did it change? Would process more claims. Does that make sense? And so they'd met their deductible, so the cost was not showing the deductible. So also, if it's an out-of-network provider, whew, it will show you what you will have to pay for the difference between our contracted negotiated fees and the actual billed amount, and you'll think twice about, you know what, I think I'm going to use an in-network provider. Okay, that was the cashback that we talked about earlier. Here is that little picture up there of what it looks like, so you guys will know, and you have to call, right, to get the code. And that's my part of the presentation today. You're doing HSAs? Okay. Do you guys have any questions about our tools or anything? Okay, awesome sauce. One little heads up tip, I'm proud to say, PHP has finally rolling out a new enrollment and claims system. Denise was jumping up and down for me because we've had the same system for, I'll just say, decades. So that means everyone will receive a new card this year, whether you've changed your benefits or not. So look for that in the mail, okay? Hey, thank you for your time, and I'm going to turn it back to our fabulous Denise.
So the health savings account is the financial account that you can set up if you're on the high deductible. So if you choose to go onto the STAR plan, as Gabby has named it, and that's how we refer to it with PHP or the high deductible, this savings account allows you to put money aside on a pre-tax basis, and then you can have that money set aside to pay for your deductible, your co-pays, any out-of-pocket for you and your tax dependents. So that's a fantastic way to save money. So on this account, as you know, on that plan, you have a lower deductible with a somewhat of a lower premium, with a higher deductible, somewhat. Your benefits, it benefits you because any money you put in there, take out, or money that you pay for a bill, you're not going to ever pay taxes. Okay, so I like to put it into perspective. Usually you're in the tax rate of about 30% here in Utah, about. So if I have a $1,000 bill and I put it through I have a $1,000 bill and I put it through my HSA, I'm really paying $700 for that claim. So it's quite a savings, and so I think, take that for granted and don't think in that way as far as what kind of savings we have. And it's substantial. So keep that in mind when you're looking at, what are my savings, what's my advantage, in addition to the premium, okay? Your contributions are pre-tax. The funds roll over year after year. Remember that. You never lose that money. You have it for life. You retire, you leave, you change jobs from Box Elder County. Guess what? That account belongs to you, as does the money. Any money that the county has put in, who does that belong to? You. Okay, you never pay that back. It's portable, and you also have an ability to do long-term investment options once you have a balance of $2,000. Okay, so you can see how much you can contribute on an annual basis. IRS actually dictates to us as far as how much we can put in annually. That has increased for single. It is not $7,100 for a single. I apologize for that. I just saw that. Not sure how that got on there. Okay, I think I'm reading it wrong. So single is now $3,600 for 2021, and family is now increased to $7,200. Okay. If you're 55 and older, you can do a catch-up of $1,000, and that's annually. Okay. So if I'm over 55, and I will admit that is true, and I'm enrolled as a family, I can put in as much as $8,200. Your employer, Box Elder County, is actually contributing towards your HSA, and that's on a single basis, $1,125. Two-party or employee and spouse, $1,687.50, and $2,250 if you enroll as family. Okay, that is put into your account 2 times a year in January and June. Okay, based on how you enroll. So this year, I talked about that calculator, and I'm going to say it quite a few times. And actually, we have Scott today that can go through that with you. Do you want to go ahead and plug in really quick? We want to just show you how it would work. Again, for those of you that have oftentimes questioned, is the high deductible HSA option better for me and my family, or should I stay on traditional? This is an exercise that I think you could take advantage of and look at that calculation and see what actually would benefit you and your family financially. Because we can talk about it, but I think looking at it and seeing what that looks like can be beneficial.
Flickering like that on the wall.
You're on lights, Scott.
What's that?
You're in lights. They're just flickering. They're so excited.
Never
And
happens.
so this is Scott Jenkins with GBS. He's on our team, and he has been assigned new to the team, so welcome, Scott. So we want to just show you how this looks, and this has been customized for Box Elder County. So you can go home, you can go onto your computer and do this exercise at home. We just want to show you really quickly what that might look like.
You want me to have the mic? Or you
Yeah,
want
yeah. He's taping, is the only thing.
He'll be fine, he's recording that.
Is he? Okay, okay. Go ahead and just.
Okay, thanks, you guys. We'll go over this really quick. These OE meetings are always just super fun anyway. You throw in COVID and a mask, and this is the best time I've had in 7 months, so we'll get through this really quick. Okay, so we basically just want to compare for you guys the difference between an HSA plan and a more traditional plan. So HSA plans do have a little bit higher deductible, but they do cost less per month in premium. That's kind of one of the main differences there. And so looking up at the screen here, this is going to be a comparison tool that will be sent to you. It's a link you can click on so you can kind of compare what you think you may need throughout the next year. So hit it right here to start your comparison, okay? Top corner right here, choose coverage. I'm going to go ahead and hit the family coverage here, but you can obviously see it can be employee. Employee plus one means you and a spouse or you and a child, okay? So family right there. Choose tax rate. If I could choose my tax rate, I'd choose 10%, but I don't get to make that choice. So let's just put 24%. There's probably about the average. Choose your state right here in the middle. Going to pick Utah. Whoops. Select state tax rate. I think it's about 5%. That's the only drop-down option it gives us, okay? This middle question right here is, this group also has a wellness rate. Would you like to use it? So the wellness rate, if you recall, is if you earn those certain points throughout the year, they will actually give you $47 a month off of your premium. So we're going to go ahead and put that in here. We're going to assume that you guys are going to try to do that. This line right here, what type of medical cost do you anticipate? Average, high, or custom? We're going to put high in here because on an HSA plan, oftentimes people are concerned about, well, what if I have a really bad year? Isn't that the plan that kind of makes it harder for me to pay my bills? And that's usually not true, and I'll show you right here. Okay, this question right here, what will your personal HSA contribution be? So let's go through one more thing. This bottom line right here, if you guys recall, is the amount that the county is going to give you every year if you select this plan. So if you're on this plan as a family, the county is going to give you $2,250 annually into your HSA savings account. So if you don't go to the doctor a single time, that $2,250 is yours and it rolls over next year. So that money is actually into your account that you get to keep, if that makes sense, okay? And then let's just say that you don't put any of your own money in. You know what? I can't afford any of my own monthly money to go into my HSA contribution. I'm just going to take what the county gives me and go with it right there, okay? View comparison. So we're going to scroll down right here. Okay, so on the left here, if you were to choose the HSA plan, which has a $3,000 family deductible, you can see right here annual premiums. You would have paid out of your paycheck $3,628 in annual premium. That's what you're going to pay no matter what, okay? That's your annual premium. And let's say you had that bad year medical-wise of $6,000. So $6,000 is the family max out-of-pocket for the HSA plan on a family. So let's say you hit your max out-of-pocket, you've paid $6,000. Once you hit $6,000, you're done paying. You can, anything can happen at that point, and you've already hit your max out-of-pocket. So as you can see, we'll do the math here. If we add up your annual premium of $3,628, that's your annual premium no matter what. Then you add your $6,000 max out of pocket because you had a bad year. You have now paid $96.28 in, it's not going to show up there. You've now paid $9,628 total out of your pocket. But now this is where the HSA really comes in, okay? So you want to subtract from that money the $2,250 that the county gave you. So take that $96.28, subtract, as you can see, the HSA employer contribution, $2,250. That puts you at $7,378. You also want to subtract the $652 you would have saved in taxes by having the HSA-based plan. So that's where they get the number right there. Total cost, $6,726. So that's what the total net cost would have been out of your pocket after you count the HSA contribution for the county and after you account for the tax savings. That's what you would have paid out of pocket for that bad year where you hit your max out of pocket, okay? Now, if you go here over on the right side, you can see that the annual premiums are $3,886, which is more than the HSA plan. Also, the max out of pocket is higher on this plan also, which is $9,000. So you've hit your max out of pocket, and there you have right there is your total cost that you've ended up paying for the year for your health care. Does that make sense? So you can see the HSA plan is about half as much total net out of your pocket as compared to the traditional plan. That's due to the fact traditional plan has a higher max out of pocket. You are paying more monthly premium, and you do not get the HSA contribution to help you pay those medical expenses, okay? Any questions on that? Comments, concerns? If there's a concern, just email Denise and she'll process that. It takes about 30 days. She'll get back to you. So, but that's kind of the difference there. And so if you would like, you can go home and you'll get this link sent to you, and you can kind of go through this with your family and run different scenarios. You can adjust how much you want to put in for your personal HSA contribution right here. Maybe you want to put in $1,000 of your own or whatever. And you can kind of see how those two plans stack up together. So, okay, that's all I had. Okay.
Was that helpful to see it live and kind of figure out how to work on that? We certainly don't want to, work it for you. We want you to take it home and work on it on yourselves and see how it works and how does it look if we have a single, a family, two-party, how much I put into my HSA, and customize that to your needs. And hopefully you'll find that useful. Did you plug that back
I
in?
did. Seems like it took a second last time.
Okay, there it is.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay, good. Showing up good here. Sorry, I'm not a technical guy.
me neither.
Yeah, showing what you need to see on the screen here. Is there a presentation mode or something? Or? I think it's going to come up. I think it's.
There we go. It's thinking.
Yeah. No, I'm still showing the wrong thing. Oh, 911.
Yep. Is that your desktop? Or is this like, I might.
No, we're seeing her desktop, but that's not what her computer shows.
Oh, this is the part from the previous week.
Do Windows Windows P, he said.
Windows key.
Uh-huh.
How do you do Windows?
The
key?
Windows
A Windows key
Oh,
So, Windows
and P,
P.
and then choose duplicate, he said.
I'm going to choose duplicate.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
oh, so now it's this one. Cool.
Go back.
Okay, I did that by myself. Okay, so hopefully you found that as helpful. Sorry. This is, sorry. Let me adjust here. Okay, so health equity, the other thing I want you to know is health equity is awesome as far as providing you support. They're available 24/7. So if you have questions, the HSA has really got a lot of rules and things to know, ins and outs. Be aware that they are a great support. Okay, so make sure you contact them with specific questions. So Dental Select, LJ is here. We have no changes. Just want to make sure and give her just a few minutes and just make sure and provide any updates for you.
Thank you, Denise. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here again. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you guys are all taking care of yourself and masked up and all the good stuff. So, my name is LJ. I'm with Dental Select. I see a lot of people that I see each year here, so thank you. You're still on the largest network, which is called the Platinum Network. You can go in or out of network, but my suggestion is that you stay in network because we've negotiated and signed a contract with those in-network providers so they're for your not balanced bill. Your preventative, which is your cleaning, exams, and x-rays, they're covered at 100%. Make sure that you go twice so you can get those covered and just stay healthy. Your basic services are going to be your composite filling, extraction, endo, which are your root canals, perio, which is gingivitis and gum disease, oral surgery are covered at 80% by Dental Select after you've satisfied your $25 deductible, which is an individual deductible, and a $75 deductible if it's family. Your major services are going to be crowns, bridges, dentures. You have the full implant coverage. That's covered by Dental Select at 50%. You're responsible for the other 50%. So let me explain what the full implant coverage means. If you're on the plan for 3 consecutive years, if that tooth is extracted, then we're going to cover the post and the crown over it. But if it was extracted before, you have to be on the plan for 3 years. And on anything like that or anything over $300, we highly recommend a predetermination, which is a treatment plan that comes over from your dentist and goes to Dental Select. We process it, and then your dentist will let you know what's covered before you have the service done. There's also a separate ortho benefit. Anyone under the age 19 will cover 50% to a lifetime of $1,500. Your maximum starts at $1,200 for each person on your policy. So what that means is you're on what we call a max reward. So each year that you're with Dental Select, we're going to increase that. You start at $1,200. The following year, we'll increase that by 100. So it'll jump up to $1,300, $1,400, $1,500. Then eventually you'll cap out at $2,000. Just know that if you need to have additional work, that's going to increase. Again, your deductible is $25, family deductible is $75. If you have any questions or any concern, please contact our customer care. That's what we're there to help you. Go to our website, dentalselect.com. You can find an in-network provider. We also have a mobile app that you can download the providers. You guys have any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, and now we've got Katie with Opticare, and she's going to review the benefits really quick.
All right, so I'm with Opticare. The plan that you guys are on did change just slightly. What we got rid of was some copays in our select network, which would be standard optical. We got rid of the copays on your basic lenses and some of the coverage options. Everything is still the same in your broad, so you have the 120 allowance for your frames or your contacts, 110 in our broad network, or we have the out-of-network reimbursement option. So if you go to any providers that are not contracted with us, we will reimburse you that amount. You just would have to send in a reimbursement form, and I have some, but they're also on our website as well that sends it directly to us. Not many changes with us, except the copays did disappear. But that is about it for Vision. Vision's very simple. Is there any questions on how it works or how to locate our providers at all? Okay, I think I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, so with, as you know, we have two plans, right? The high deductible, and we kind of emphasize that one, but we also have the traditional plan, and you can certainly stay on that, no problem. The traditional plan gives you the opportunity to use a flex spending account, okay? On the flex spending account, it is also a tax-free benefit to put money aside, okay? And it is also for medical services, such as your deductible or co-pays or pharmacy co-pays, okay? With the Flex account, you'll want to make sure you do your due diligence and set an amount that you can spend, okay? This is the account that you have to either spend it during the contract period. We do give you a 75-day grace period, or the county does. But if you do not spend that money, you do lose it. So you'll want to make sure you keep that in mind, okay? Save your receipts. MBS is the administrator of this account, okay? You can put as much as $2,750 in that account annually, okay? This is the maximum that IRS allows us to set aside. If you choose the high deductible health plan, you can also set aside what we call a limited purpose FSA. That amount maximum is the same, $2,750. Let's say I have an HSA and I have a child in orthodontia services. This is an opportunity for you to set aside an additional amount up to $2,750. And again, that can be pre-taxed, and you won't be using the money in your HSA and depleting that account faster. So that's where I see this as an opportunity. And then the dependent care reimbursement is the same as it has been. That's an opportunity to put money aside for money to pay for a babysitter, okay? And probably now, probably not so. FSA is one account that is administered by MBS. With an HSA, that account is your responsibility to maintain. With MBS, they are the administrator, so they may in fact ask you for a receipt from a time or two. So based on what services are submitted, you'll want to know to make sure you respond. A lot of times dental services are questioned because those can be they could be a cosmetic service that's not allowed to be used. So just so keep that in mind. You'll receive a debit card to be able to use your account. So if you're using it for a copay at a pharmacy, you'll have that MasterCard that you can use. So keep that in mind. I talked about, it's a use it or lose it, but you do have 75 days beyond the end of the plan year to use your money. So if you participated last year in 20 or for 2020, make sure you exhaust your account, but you do have 75 days beyond the end of the plan year to use that money, okay, before you lose it. Any questions, make sure you check with MBS. If you're wondering what your balance is, you can call MBS. They'll just ask you for your social security number through the prompt, and then it's really easy to find out what your balance is. So make sure you check that out and don't lose any money. Life insurance is remaining the same with Hartford, no changes there. The company or the county is paying $25,000 for your life insurance, double if you die due to an accident, and you can see your spouse is covered for 10. Legal dependent children up to the age of 26 are covered for $2,000. Voluntary life gives you the opportunity to bump up that coverage. So oftentimes you recognize that you need more money for life insurance purposes. So make sure you take advantage of that. You do have a hefty amount that you can actually have insured for yourself, which is up to $600,000, okay? I don't know that we have any new hires. If you were to be a new hire, you do have a guarantee issue of $450. But if you're an employee that's been with the county ongoing for a long period of time, you can still get up to that $600,000, but it will be subject to medical insurability. Okay, so those forms will be available through HR. So you want to make sure that you fill those forms out. It will be determined based on being accepted on your health. Okay, so employee assistance program. This is really a nice feature that we are offering to county employees and spouses, or families, I should say. This is a 24/7 service. There's no cost to you. We see that, depression and counseling is on the rise, and really people do need that service right now. So really take note and recognize that service is available to you 24/7, and it's confidential. So make sure you take advantage of that. They have available anything as far as relationship counseling, financial counseling, educational seminars, and again, they're available to you 24/7, okay? So remember that, okay? Some things to consider. Remember the health equity calculator. If Janica hasn't sent that out, I'm sure she will. So make sure you go through that exercise if you're considering going on to the high deductible and how that would look for you financially. Remember the PEHP Cashback Rewards Program that Gabby talked about? That's money in your pocket that's sent to you. You save money, the plan saves money, everybody saves money. So make sure you take advantage of that if you have a procedure coming up. Remember, really important to update your beneficiaries on both life insurance and also your HSA. If you pass away and you have dollars in your HSA, it goes to your spouse. So make sure, or whoever your beneficiary is. So make sure that stays current. We need you to complete your enrollment by the 20th. And also, we want to talk to you about our wellness program. And Jody's here from PEHP, so I want to turn the time over to her. You didn't think I was going to forget you?
Well, I thought that you did. Okay, so thanks, Denise.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get this off without tearing my earrings out. That's one thing I found is wearing a mask. And I always wear big earrings because I got my short hair. So I end up tearing my earrings out of my head. Anyway, so hello. It's so good to be here. And you know what? So you don't have to crick your necks that way. I'm going to go in the center. Oh, he's filming. Hey, check it out. I haven't seen it moving. So if they are filming,
I think it followed you.
did it? Hello.
Followed us last
Okay. It did. It followed us last year. We weren't sure. We were like, is it filming? So, hi, everyone. Wellness. Wellness is always the fun part. And not like any of the other stuff isn't fun. But we are excited to let you know that health coaching, first of all, is available to all members. Employees, spouses, and dependents over the age of 6. And if they're between the age of 6 and 18, they can do health coaching for anything. It doesn't just have to be like weight management, like you guys might have been used to from the past. It can be whatever. So obviously when Denise mentioned Blomquist Hale, I have some cards out there too. I just happen to have them with me. If you want to stop at my table after and grab some. Plus, Blomquist Hale is a great service, but let's just say that you want to work on something that you might want to work on for 6 to 12 months with a health coach. If they're between ages 6 and 18, they'll be in the health coaching for kids program, and one of the parents will be involved too. And so that's a great change this year. And then also, Don't forget your My Wellness Tracker, because if you already do the $47 that you get towards your premium every month to do your wellness stuff, this one also you get up to $150. Make sure you talk to Mariana about that. Remember, it has an app, and we've got all of the registration information out at my table too. So if you're not already doing that, just remember it's $150 for you and $150 for a spouse if you have a spouse on the plan. Last but not least, I've got these little exercise bands out there for you. And we've been so excited. I've only gone like 2 places in person. This is the second. But when we have, I have been bringing the little bands, and I also have a sheet of information that you can get from me. And I will leave some here with Jenica and the HR gals, just in case for people who weren't able to show up. But I would take it out of here and show you, but I have to hold my mic. But anyway, you can do all sorts of things, little bicep curls and leg lifts and lots of fun things. And you can just do that at your desk or at home or wherever you like. Lastly, let's see, we do have some changes for 2021 with some of the wellness rebates, but it's too long to describe, so I will be sending out a new brochure and some more information about those changes. But make sure that when they schedule your Healthy Utah testing that you go, and they're doing all sorts of PPE. In fact, when you see them, they're fully, like you felt like you walked into the hospital. So you'll feel safe. And they also are taking temperatures before you go in. And they'll make sure that there's not like a bunch of people in the room. So does anyone have any questions about wellness and the benefits that you have with that? Not a thing. Okay, one more thing that just popped into my mind. We have been doing a bunch of webinars that are just the 30-minute ones, and I think they count toward the program too, and a lot of mental health ones. So we have a suicide prevention one. We also have one that's on the high use of social media and being on your phone and connected all the time. We have a depression one, an anxiety one, and lastly, like a trauma. We've all gone through trauma this year, no matter how you look at it. And so if it's wearing on you and you don't feel like the same person and you're feeling kind of like stuck, or that you're just not all the way, feeling great, make sure you have all those resources. Reach out to Blomquist Hale, talk to your HR gals. Remember, everything is confidential, so nothing is shared, unless if you feel like you want to share it with them. So thank you, and hopefully you'll do all your wellness stuff.